supervised learning algorithm. Classification and regression will be coming under supervised learning algorithm. And second two, like association clustering, will be getting into unsupervised learning algorithms. See, I will be just summarizing you what are the important points to be get. I mean, like we should know what are the important things in data mining, and what are the topics that we are going to cover in today's class. So those are the things that I'm conveying you, and all these things are, I mean, like you should know related to data mining. So data mining, we call data mining, will help you to extract the knowledgeable data from a given data set. And either the data set that I use is trained data, the data set is holding the trained data or untrained data. If it is trained, you can directly go on applying supervised learning algorithms. If it is untrained, we should apply, I mean, like you should start applying unsupervised learning algorithms. So if I use classification regression, this can be applied on trained data set supervised. If I can apply clustering and association rule mining on unsupervised learning. I mean, like I can apply this on unsupervised trained data. I don't want any data to be get trained to apply this algorithms. So there's a difference between this and that. And one more thing, like if I talk about classification, I mean like a supervised learning algorithm, what I will be doing is I will be trying to do, I mean like I will be trying to identify or predict or to identify something from the past data set, and I will be forecasting the future happenings. That is what we will be doing with supervised, like ASOS classification, or it can be regression. What I will be doing is I will be trying to analyze the previous or existing data set, and I mean past. With the past data set, I will be trying to focus. I will be trying to forecast the future happenings, prediction, future happenings when the prediction. So this is one small example of this. And one small example for classification is if I use classification, I mean like the well-known algorithm which comes under classification is a decision tree. So decision tree algorithm. So it is like a decision tree algorithm, as you know, like you will be doing in data structures, like one root node will be there, one left node, right node, again one loop node, again if it is branch, it will be having one more leaf node and one more leaf node. I mean like one more stage will be there. So leaf node will be the termination node. Similarly, here we'll be calling it as a root node. And since if I mean like if it is terminating with the next stage, the next node will be called as termination node. Else, even if it is, like, for example, if it is continuing again with the next condition, I can take it as decision node. So that decision node and again will be decision node. If it is terminating there, you can have termination node at the left and similarly at the right. So based on the cases. So here, if I talk about like classifying this, I mean like for example, like if the student or if user's age is greater than 18 or lesser than 18. Greater than 18, like I can say it is eligible to vote. Lesser than 18, it is not eligible to vote. So it is being terminating in a single stage. The top will be the decision node, left will be terminating, and right will be terminating. And if I continue this, for example, if it is greater than 18, then I will be going for male or female. Then I will be getting into if it is male, either what it is occupation, self-employed or business. If it is me female, again it is self-employed or business. I can categorize and I can construct a tree like this. So what is the use of algorithm in it, for example? So if it is a simple decision tree, you can I can like if it is a simple decision tree diagram, we can do it. If I apply this kind of decision logic on a data set, so I mean like how can I make the data, how can I make the data mining to do a proper to do a proper decision tree analysis. That is where we use decision tree algorithms. And decision tree algorithms, you can see, I mean like some well-known algorithms are there, like a C4.5, and one well-known is called a CART. It means classification and regression tree. That is the meaning of it. And when you get into one small example, then you will be knowing. And one more thing is like ID3. And you have solved an example for decision tree. I mean, like I've given you a student performance evaluation technique using any data mining technique. And the perfect, I mean, like an suitable data mining for that, a suitable data mining technique for that problem is, I can call it as a decision tree. So that will be getting fitting into classification. That will be fitting into supervised learning in data mining. Okay, so it is a small overview of it. And if I talk about unsupervised, I can talk about clustering. I can talk about association rule mining. I hope you know what is called clustering. Like so, grouping or pairing based on few set of relation. That is called clustering. Association rule mining. I mean, like I will be finding the correlation or happening one with the other. I mean, like a person who is I'm a person who purchases a laptop or a computer. Is there chances for I mean chances for getting mouse along with it? or is there chances for getting an UPS along with them, or is there chances for getting an additional battery for it. So this is how we use this kind of type mining algorithms. And let us get into brief one by one, and let us have some examples for each and every algorithm techniques in just a minute. Okay. So the last we have seen what is data mining, and the last slide was about outputs of data mining and what a data mining will be doing, and like now evaluating data mining results. So there are two primary kinds of data mining process. As I told you, like one is supervised, one is unsupervised. Supervised can be created with the past data. You can predict the correct answer for the future data instances. And if I'm doing this, what kind of parameter that I use in this, what I'm going to do with that we shall be discussing in next topic called classification and regression. And in the slide, the bottom you can see like a predictive accuracy equal to correct prediction divided by total prediction. And as I told you, like in the previous examples, and even in the previous last class, I told you like you whatever the values that we predict, that will not be the actual ones. Like it will be the predictor one. The actual ones will be the actual ones which is happening in real time. So I just want to know what is I mean like the relation between that and this. If it is more, I mean like the predictor ones is 95, the real ones happening is 95 to 96 or 94. I can convey that it is almost nearly accurate, right? So to get that relation, we will be using predictive accuracy is equal to correct prediction divided by total prediction. And next one, like, so suppose a data mining technique has been initiated to design a predictive model for patient cancer, and it is what one assignment is just given for you to develop. To develop a data mining technique or to come out with a data mining technique which is widely used in diagnosing or treating in medical healthcare or hospitals, right? So that is what I told you. A small example: early prediction of heart disease. How heart disease can be predicted using data mining algorithms. So it is also one research area where data mining and big data is being widely used. So once this kind of things will be helping you. You can get more information about this particular data mining algorithms, big data. Once when you start looking into a research papers only, the textbook will make you to know the things, but where we are applying it, how we are applying it, and what is the application of it, and how we are making use of it, that will be get known to you only with research papers, right? So here you can see like when a true positive data point is positive, that is correct. If you find a prediction is correct, it is going to be true positive, else it is true negative. And when you classify it as a positive, I mean like when you classify a true negative data as a positive, then that is called false positive. I will show you this in the next slide, like confusion matrix. So this is called a confusion matrix, which will be helping you to assess what we have done with the predictor class. I mean, to find out or to cross check with the actual ones and with the predictor ones. And one side you can see the predicted classes, and the other side you can see like a true classes, positive, negative. And if both are, I mean, if what both the cases are positive, it is termed as true positive. If it is positive, negative, will not be considering. And if it is again negative, negative, it is true negative. Either it will be positive or it will be going to be negative. It will not be getting falling in anything nearby to it, right? So that is what it is giving. And the last slide we have seen predictive accuracy is equal to, I mean like the total prediction should be get the predictor should be divided by total predictions. And here if you look into it like a TP plus TN, I mean true positive plus true negative divided by total number of true positive, true negative, I mean like false positive, false negative, that we found out from the given data set. That is called confusion matrix. So confusion matrix will be helping you to find out or to find out the ratio, or to find out the things, or to find out the correlation between the predicted ones and the actual ones. For this we use this confusion matrix. Once if you try to have one more example for this confusion matrix using a data set, then will be better for you to understand what we are doing with the confusion matrix. So based on this confusion matrix, I can convey, or I can know that my predictive model is better. And if my predictive model is coming out, if my predictive model is resulting in more than 70% accuracy or more than 80% accuracy, then I can apply this prediction model for my business purposes or for my business cases. That is one application of this predictive analytics. I mean predictive analytics in confusion matrix. And second, data mining techniques. So if you look into this data mining techniques, you can see supervised, unsupervised. Like as I told you, like this is trained, this is untrained. So you can see classification, machine learning, classification stated as decision trees, neural networks, regression. And in unsupervised, you can see clustering, association, rules. So these are the techniques that we will be covering each techniques one by one. So this is the overall data mining techniques, which is almost you want to know. I mean the most important data mining techniques. Just a minute. Okay. So I can see some 5 students are waiting for approval. So please try to get login into the system at least 10 minutes from the commencement of class. Okay. So so the most important problems that we use in data mining are classification problems. That's what I told you. And mostly in classification problems, we use a decision making process to find the predict to find or to find out the or to forecast the things happening in the future. And this will tells you like the model prediction is what are the prediction that we I have done is like right or wrong, what it is conveying, that also can be get focused. Okay. And regression, see basically I mean regression, like I will be doing a regression. I mean like I can do a regression to find out the prediction of occurrence, something which is going to happen. I can find out the forecast. Second thing is, if I'm applying prediction, you can talk about a regression analysis. This regression analytics can be applied on two independent variables like a graph, x and y. I can apply this on two independent variables. Second thing, if I'm doing it, either it can be linear or it can be non-linear. The difference is, if it is linear, I mean like when I start doing this with applying this within a data points, I will be getting a straight line. If it is non-linear, I will be getting a curve, so that I can make a decision that it is going to be a linear or it is going to be a non-linear. And second thing is, if whenever I talk about a regression analysis, I'm going to apply this on a continuous value set of items. For example, like finding out the price, or I mean, like finding out the price, or finding out the number of patients, or finding out the number of vehicles which is going to get arrive in the next traffic signal, or making use of smart traffic. There, I will be using this regression analysis. Okay, let me repeat it. So, regression is a statistical data mining technique, again, which can be used to find the correlation between two independent variables. And one more most important thing about regression is, if I apply a particular data mining algorithm in doing some sort of task or in doing some kind of things, I will be having n number of variables, right? I will be having n number of variables, n number of attributes, and in that, just a minute, what happened? Just a minute.